Sahana Vavatu, Sahanao Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu, Mavit Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome. Today we're going to discuss some great statements like we all almost every time do, but now in a structure. There are four of them. Two we already discussed, we already teach, but there are some little tiny Sanskrit aspects which make these Mahavakyas, as they're called, complete. So a Mahavakya, great statement, great saying. It's from Maha, great, and Vakya, statement. What is a Mahavakya? Well, in a Vedanta teaching, in texts, but also when the guru starts to teach, they actually quite soon or immediately tell you where we're heading. They tell you the truth in a great statement. Like, I am this, you are that. I am consciousness. Consciousness is Brahman. These kind of statements. But then, of course, the inquirer, the student, the pupil, will say, oh, whoa, no, I don't understand. How can I be Brahman? How can I be the total? How can I be? And actually, this is a well-described blockage in Vedanta. It's called asambhava. It means like impossibility. How can I ever be that? And well, then, of course, the teaching will start, and the teacher will tell you why you are the whole, how that is, how reality is kind of structured and organized. And then slowly, as the teaching advances, understanding will come, and we work again back to the conclusion. The conclusion is actually also a Mahavakya. Could be the same statement. It's kind of a loop. It's very logical because a Mahavakya must be short because it's actually always a declaration of identity. The truth is non-dual. So at the end, you can only say, I am that, I am Brahman, which is like identity, non-dual. That's what the great, usually actually all great sayings are short and say this is that. It's not like there are two things anymore. But there's a whole way to get there by in our understanding through knowledge. Since we don't have time to put up, and this seminar is not for making a whole Vedanta, building up a whole Vedanta teaching, we work with a lot with these great sayings to see some Sanskrit aspects. No? So let's go to the sheet. We had Aham Brahmasmi, and to make it complete and exact in Sanskrit, we have to say something about this M from Aham, because there is a Sandhi rule which explains that if a M bumps into a semivowel or a consonant, it becomes this anuswara. So this is the way anuswaras um, manifest in the language. So here you see it. Last time we just had an M here, but now it became an anuswara. This is the correct complete saying, Aham Brahmasmi. So does it mean? An M plus a vowel, in that case it stays an M. So that's the difference. For example, I made here Aham Ananda Asmi. I, Aham Ananda, bliss, am, Asmi, I am bliss. You see, here's no Anusvara. Now, in this statement, there also should be some Sandhi. Who can tell me after Sandhi, what happens here? Who can tell me? It was from last week's lesson. I didn't mute you, did I? This time. Oh. Yeah, okay, it's hard. I'll tell you. It's remember, this is Visarga Sandhi. It ends on a Visarga. So this is an O. This will be an O. Then we had this funny apostrophe here. And what happens with A?
It drops.
It drops.
You lose it. You
Yes.
lose it, yeah.
So correctly with Sandhi, here it is Aham Anandosmi. And this Smi, you hear it. Remember some mantras you might know that this Smi is in there. I think it's even in a mantra James sings at the end, Shmaham. Asmi Aham. He sings Shmaham, remember? For people who, in the last couplet of the chant James always sings, he says at the end, Pranato Shmaham. And then he says Shma Ham. I think it's also the same kind of Sandhi. Okay. So that's a little Sandhi rule. Now something about texts, script. These are not rules you have to learn by head, but will recognize, because if you have a Sanskrit sentence, sometimes you see spaces and sometimes not. In the old days, they wrote all these letters in one continuous flow. There were no spaces. If you see really old text, it's one block of Sanskrit letters. But nowadays they made some rules. For example, one moment. Yes. A vowel at the end of a word, followed by a new word starting with a consonant, there a space is manifesting. For example, Api Brahma. Here's a vowel on a consonant, so we get a space in between. Another rule is if a consonant bumps into a vowel, there's no space. So here are three words: Palam, Palam, Api, Brahma. Api means also. So it says also the fruit is Brahman, a non-dual statement. Okay, when an anuswara meets a consonant in a new word, there is a space here. It's just convention, this actually. You will recognize, it's nice to, you will have some book with Sanskrit sentences in your bookcase, I guess, from some Swami or something. If you look this up, you will recognize that where there are spaces and where not. The same thing with Visarga. Visarga with after Visarga on a consonant, there's always a space. And I introduce you a little new word, vad. It's talking, speaking. Krishna vadati. Krishna talks. So here's a space. Okay, here's some, again, Sandhi. This is a voiced consonant. Also, we had this last week. What happens with this part? Who knows?
It becomes an O.
Excellent. Yes, great. Right. That was the other Visarga Sandhi rule we learned, no? Krishno Varati, that's the correct way. You see how it works? So especially because this is first case ending, you see it a lot. So when we have this first case ending, we have to be alert because it becomes a Sandhi form. Or the other way around, if we see a word ending on O, we can realize, oh, that must be first case word ending on avisarga.
Simon,
Yes.
it doesn't change the meaning of the word, does it? When you
No,
drop.
no, not at
No,
all.
it
No.
doesn't. Okay.
Correct. Good question. So when a consonant is followed by a vowel in a new word, it's the words are connected. Tvamasi, you are. I explain this here because soon we'll get these great statements, and then we see how they are correctly written in script. With a consonant on a consonant, they're also connected. So here, maybe you recognize this form. Satchidananda. 3 words. Sat is there, Chit is there, Ananda is there. 3 words, but not 3 different things. It's just 3 ways to express the truth, the non-dual truth. So they're written in one go without spaces, but there are other phenomena here. Because where is this T? It becomes a C. You see? A cha, a cha. That's also Sandhi. A T plus a C becomes CC. So Sat Chit becomes Sat Chit. Actually written without a space. I hope this will be the 4 last I have here another Sunday rule, but these will be the four last Sunday rules for this course. Just one more, I think, because we have to work last lessons more on the alphabet to make it complete. Because there are too much letters we didn't teach. So back to Satchidananda, the correct way to write it. This T from Chit became a D here, you see? Also another little rule. A T before a voiced letter, including vowels, becomes a D plus a voiced letter. So Chitananda becomes Chitananda. With this word, you really, if you express it in a fast mode, it happens automatically in your mouth, actually. If you say Sat Chit Ananda, 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 it automatically, this will be pronounced like a cha, and this like it with a D. So this, it follows really the nature of sound here. So here I say again, fun exercise. Just check with one of the scriptures you might have on the shelf where spaces are used and where not. Are there questions about this?
Simon,
Yes.
so I have a question, but it's on last week's lesson.
Okay, great.
We talked about Pratibhasika Satyam and Vyavaharika Satya, but one is said Satyam and the other one Satya. I don't know if that's why you call one the Satyam and the other one Satya. Is there a reason for
Okay.
that?
Did I also put it differently in the text of the sheet?
In the lesson in the sheet, you called
Yeah,
it Pratibhasika Satyam, but you called it Vyavaharika Satya, and the
yeah,
other
it's a
one
really good point.
Paramatika Satya. So I'm not quite sure why one has got an M at the end.
Yes, it's a good point. Well, it's a simple answer. The one is already in the first case, and the other is not in the stem form.
Oh, geez. How am I supposed to know that?
Well, actually, yes. Now, because what you see in lexicons in books with these Sanskrit terms of Vedanta, uh, they are usually they are in the first case. I don't think that's logical. I always give a stem form because there are more cases, of course. But that's why I see a lot of these words before, for example, ending on a visarga or on an M. But if you know this, it's really now you know.
No, I'm
Really a
sorry,
good
but
point.
I still don't understand.
I could give
Is
you.
Pratibhasika Satyam a different case to Paramatika Satya?
I might can I
Is that
give
what
you
you?
a. Let me see. Well, it's not really different, but in the first case, it's already manifested into language. I'll s- I'll I'll
Uh,
show you. I think here I'll show you because, for example, this is a elaborate lexicon on Arshavidya UK. You see this now?
mhm.
So here, what they
Yes.
do, I would here you see it's this term is anavisarga.
Yeah.
Let me see here. This term is on an M. This is in the first
Yeah.
case, you see? Um, I
Okay.
if you distract this M, it's in a stem form, which is
Okay.
so that's why you really recognize. You see, if you I'll, I'll show this.
But you said just now that if a word ends in a visaga, then that's the first case.
Yes,
Is that
first
right?
case masculine, and
Okay.
on with an M, it's the first case neutral. And then
Oh, okay.
if I'll look it
Okay.
up here. I'll look at here. Look what they do here. You see, here we are.
Yeah.
Vyavaharika satyam. Satya is a
Yeah.
neutral word, so they put
Yeah.
an M.
Okay, but in your text you didn't use you called it
No,
Vyavaharika Satya.
yes, so that's in the stem form, and with an
Uh,
M, it's already in the first case. That's the difference. Sorry, I didn't wasn't consistent there, but
okay.
but therefore a good question raised because if you, for example, have these lexicons like this, eh?
Hmm.
Now you recognize, oh, they put this all in first case. But sometimes you just, these visargas or these M's are not there. And then you know, oh, that's in the stem
Okay.
form.
Okay.
You see,
Okay.
recognize the
So
difference.
I suppose once one gets more practice with Sanskrit, then we will become more familiar with this, huh?
Yes, yes. But do you
Okay.
understand? You understand the point here?
I think
Yeah,
so. I mean, I understand it intellectually, but practically, it's still going to take a while.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No, but it's like, say another way, I always in my vocabulary at the end, I give words, for example, on usually on a, no? Uh, then all these words are in a stem form.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Okay. So
so if
your
and then
one
they
is
get either visarga with if they're masculine or either M if they're neutral. In the first case,
okay. So a Visaga word is masculine and an M word is neutral. Okay.
yeah, with words on a,
Okay. Right. Okay.
of
Then
which
just
of which
another,
there are a lot. Yeah.
a lot, yeah. Another small question. When you talked about Vyavaharika Satya, you said there's the prefix V
Oh yeah.
indicates distribution division. So the word viveka, is that the V is also a prefix in the word viveka?
Ah, okay. That's a nice one.
Is it
I'm thinking.
because viveka means
That's not. I really
division?
have to
No, no,
inquire
not
into
really.
that one.
No, okay. It's
Could really be the
just
case.
curiosity.
A lot of these
Okay.
words
All
are.
right.
It's a kind of a way to things becomes distracted. Or, for
Yeah.
example, in vairagya, it also comes. Vai is a strong form of vi, and
Uh,
then they say taking distance, so dividing from the ragya, from
yeah.
from you know raga desires, emotions, all these things.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
They call it
Okay.
raga. So there's also a
Okay.
split
Yes.
because so you
Okay.
say, "Oh, I'm
Okay.
renouncing that vairagya." So that's also the function of this
Okay.
vi. Same. So but in
Okay.
viveka, I have to uh,
Okay.
analyze the
Okay.
term because it's
Okay.
not
Cool.
sure that it's like that, but could
Okay.
really be the
I'm
case.
just
Yes.
curious.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I find that part of the Vedanta, Sanskrit fascinating. The etymology,
Yes, it
the
is.
origin of this. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it too, and I
Mm.
wish, yeah, we could. I try to present it also with these datus, no? These really
Mm.
nice
Okay.
For example, with
Thank you.
Dharma, I love
Yeah.
the way the meaning comes immediately from this little central dhatu, this root
Yes.
form. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Let me see. Oh, yes. So here we are. Okay. Great saying, great statement. A vakya is a saying or a statement. And we say mahavakya, great saying. But actually, maha, great, comes from mahat. This is the stem form. And in compounds, it's usually, it's always used as maha. We learn maharishi, a great seer. We learned already mahatma, great spirit, great mind, in this case. So here it is again, mahavakyam, great saying. You see, Nicole, here's the M again. Here I put the M and I said a compound in first case. How do we see that? Because here's an M. If I just say this is the stem form and now it becomes in a case, first case. I want to introduce to you a plural form because more we discuss four Mahavakyas, four great sayings, then uh, the ending in this plural form, first case, is Ani. So Mahavakya or great sayings, correctly in Sanskrit, is Mahavakyani. Mahavakyani. So that's a first case plural. In my opening, I said something about Mahavakya is at the end used as a conclusion, a siddhanta. So now we're heading for the Mahavakyas. It's a conclusion. It's a conclusion is siddhanta in Sanskrit. From siddha is something which is achieved, established. After receiving all the knowledge, having established and achieved all the knowledge, siddha, it comes to an end in the conclusion, anta. So then we have a siddhanta. And here's also a thing which is being chanted, which comes from scripture. And it's also in James Ward's openings mantra, Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta, which means the conclusion, Siddhanta of all, Sarva, of all Vedanta is, now, for example, the conclusion could be Tattvamasi, well known by now, but here presented in the most correct form because there are no spaces here, you see? These are three words, Tat, Tvam, Asi. Two consonants, no space, consonant on a vowel, no space. So if you see them in some kind of mantra in your scripture, it will be written without spaces. Tattvamasi. So I will get back to this because at the end, after these four, I would like to think through with you why this usually is presented at first in this row of four. And why this is, for example, the basis of the whole Bhagavad Gita structure. Okay, Mahavakya number 2. Also one we recognize. If you say that thou art, then and one understands, then one can say, I am Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. Probably the most direct, identical Mahavakya there is. If you immediately recognize yourself as full, whole, as the full, whole, complete reality, shining as awareness, as James Schwartz says it so beautifully. A little repetition. Here we have a anuswara now, because it's followed by a consonant. Some nice little new aspects. Mahavakya number 3. Therefore we have to learn something new. Idam, idam, this. See this little word a lot, idam? Actually, it is a stem form. It's a demonstrative pronoun. I think I looked that up. That's what it technically is called in English, I think. Because it says, well, this, that, those, all these kind of things. The first case of idam, this, is ayam. We need this because the third Mahavakya says ayamat ma brahma. This ayam, self, is Brahman. And this is from the second line of the second verse of Mandukya Upanishad. And the complete verse is Sarvagum ye tat brahma ayamatma brahma soyamatma chatushpat. Sarvam ye tat brahma. All this is Brahman. This self is Brahman. Ayamatma Brahman. Soyamatma chatushpat. All this self can be analyzed as 4 proportions. That's what they do in the Mandukya. 4 proportions. So they say sleep, deep sleep, dream, waking is the kind of mithya parts. And the fourth, which is not a state, is Turiya. Turiya comes from Chatur, 4. And that's why it's all explained in the Mandukya Upanishad. So this whole verse first declares the truth. This self is Brahman. And then it starts explaining, but why do we go through 3 states and what's the basis, the truth of that? That's the context of this Mahavakya. So here we see again a consonant on a vowel is without a space, but a vowel on a consonant is with a space in between. What I also did, Mandukya, normally, of course, this is Mandukya Upanishad. Remember, we learned this Sandhi, A plus U makes O. So sometimes you read this, no? Mandukya Upanishad. Now you understand why. It's just the Sandhi. Are there remarks or questions up to now?
I'm still not clear on I am and idam.
Okay. That's just
Changes so
it's a
differently.
yes, yeah, it's a kind of irregular form. I mean, that's just what it is.
Okay.
So idam is a stem form, and I am is just the first case. It's just something I don't know why.
What is the second case?
Let me see. Well,
Does it follow the I am or go back to
I can look it up for you.
idam?
But I have to remind I am because I know it's even more confusing because in the neutral form, idam is the stem form. Also, but in neutral, it takes the first and second case are idam, they stay idam, but in the masculine form, it becomes ayam. But I'm thinking maybe it's also ayam. I can look it up here, but maybe it's a bit too far.
Yeah, that's okay. Just have to
I'm afraid that there are
what
some
it is.
irregular forms also here. I just
Okay.
wanted to introduce this for this mantra.
Yeah.
It's actually it might have a reason, but it's also just convention here, I think. But since this is such a famous mantra,
Yeah.
I'd like to explain these things, no? Hmm.
Okay.
So now we go to the fourth. This is also, I like this mantra because it's very subtle, actually. Because what it says, Prajnanam Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma. Actually, did we know this as knowledge, no? But the whole word prajnanam is also used as a word for awareness. There's a whole subtle teaching in this, because here's the prefix pra, which has connotations like prior to, and prior to in the Vedas could also be explained as beyond spiritually, no? It means away from, in front of, on beforehand. So let's literally translate it here as prior to knowledge, prajna. Then it's like the knowledge that makes all knowledge possible. It's pure knowledge, but we cannot call that knowledge anymore, can we? It is consciousness itself. So pra expresses here that which precedes everything, which is the basis, the adhikaranam, it's called, the basis of everything, which is the truth, pure consciousness. And that is Brahman. So awareness is Brahman. These four great statements are mentioned in one breath, usually listed. So that's why I discuss them here. But you can think it through yourself. I wrote some out here. You can read it at home. Oh yeah, one thing again, Sanskrit technical. If we have the M here, followed by a consonant, we get an anuswara again. See?
Simon,
Yes.
ask this Anuswara, the M,
Yes.
is the dot at the top usually?
Yeah.
Or
It
can be both.
They do it both.
Or both, is it? Okay.
But in Devanagari, of course, it's on top.
Right.
But with this in this script, you see it under, and you see it above. That's
Right.
true. But my font does it like this.
Okay. No, that's
Yes.
fine.
Yeah, you see it both. No,
I'm
same
used to the
thing.
top. I wasn't sure. Okay, thanks.
Yes, yes.
That's okay.
So I was suddenly thinking, why is Tattvamasi mentioned first in this listing? Could, I don't have an authorized answer by Swami or something, but I thought it through and I said, oh, this must be the reason. Can you think with me? With the
Well, here's one
philosophy?
guess, Simon,
Yes?
because it introduces the subject and the object and equates the subject with the object.
Yes, right. So it's so there's a teaching there already, no? It starts explaining a little bit in some way, or it invites for more teaching, something like that's also how I see it.
Okay.
That's great. And but also because in first instance, sorry, let me ask you first. Is there anyone who has some other aspect of this Mahavakya?
So in this one, it's quite interesting that it doesn't say you are that, it says that you are. So
Yes.
it gives primacy to that rather than to me. It
Yeah, right.
makes that more important than me. So there's
Yeah.
some sort of order there. Huh?
Yes, great. And what is in first instance, what does that refers to? For example, in the Bhagavad Gita, like we talked about this in the prior lesson. Ishvara, because it says Tat is Ishvara, but how can I be equal to Ishvara? Well, because Ishvara is in the appearance, Ishvara is the total of all phenomena, all power, all knowledge. But the truth of Ishvara is Brahman, of course. Same thing with me, no? Individual. Tvam or you, a person, an individual. In appearance, we are just a little bit of Ishvara, just a tiny radar of everything. But the truth of you or me as a person is also Brahman, of course. So there's it invites for a whole teaching to understand. I think the whole Gita is explaining it in this way. How can I be equal to God? Well, in one way, I'm not. as a jiva, as a person. But in reality, I am, of course. That's how I saw it. But somehow it's so. I thought the answer was maybe it's so rich and inviting for much teaching, this mantra, and that's why I guess it's in the first one. The other ones are just really conclusions, no? Identity, no, I am that. I am Brahman. Not much to say, more to say. Well, so that was nice. Thank you for this little study group. Shall we continue?
Yes, please.
Okay. So here is one case, the fourth, which we already presented. I see that it's really a devotional case because it expresses two or four. And it's used in really devotional expressions. In English, devotee gives flower to the guru. You would use it. I practice for personal growth. So technically in language, it's called an indirect object. It has the function of an indirect object or an object of interest. So two or four. Well, we like examples, and we know these examples already. Here we have it, Namaha Shivaya. A bow for Shiva or honor to Shiva. Can translate this in two ways. And here I repeat this little Sunday we practiced last week. Namo Namah Shivaya. This becomes a O because N is a voiced consonant. Again and again a bow for Shiva. Starts to, I mean, Shivaya is something which we heard a lot now in these beautiful mantras. Now we know the exact linguistic function. And some other examples. Om Ishaya Namaha. Glory to the Lord, a bow for the Lord, honor to the Lord. In this case, Isha. So it becomes Ishaya. We could also say with Ishvara, Om Ishvaraya Namaha. Now you can make your own little devotional statement. And another thing is Namaha comes here before the subject. And here after, that's some kind of freedom we have in Sanskrit language. The word, there is some convention about syntaxes, so order of words, how they are placed one after the other. But there's also a lot of freedom, especially in mantras and in poetry. So you see it both. And the cases explain the meaning here, no? Which function has this word, which function has this word. This is in first case. This is in fourth case, and then you can translate. That's how it works. Okay, oh yeah, we have to do some repetition with the verbs, I think. because I introduced some plural forms maybe 2 lessons ago. And so I think it's good to repeat it a bit. I introduced a we form. So that's the first person plural. Amah, amah. So we are one. Ekaha bhavamah. Ekaha bhavamah. We are one. Just convention. Oh, and here we can even do a Sunday. No? You know, but now this is a voiced consonant. Ba, ba. I hear my in my throat. There's rare sound and resonation and ba. So this becomes a. This is correct. Eko bhavama. We are one. And now the you form plural with shantim. Shantim bhavataha. Shantim bhavataha. You become peace. But it's you all become peace. You see, it's a plural thing. So in the second person plural, this is the ending, ataha. Then we have the third person plural, which ends on anti. So if we say they are students, we say shishah bhavanti. Shishah bhavanti. I'm not going to put that in Sunday now, but this is a plural form of words on a. The a becomes long in the first case. Some little new rules, so I repeat it here. 2 plural forms. First case plural masculine, words on a is aha, like shishaha, more students. And we had mahavakyani, more great sayings. In the plural form, it becomes ani for neutral words. And I put that in the oversight here. Here you see plural forms of neutral words. So it becomes ani, palani. And here you see plural forms. Oh, this is not correct. Good that I see it. You see plural form of a word on a in a masculine, of a masculine word. Deva, the deities. And new today was devaya. See? So let me see. Ah, okay. That was all the grammar for today. You see, oh, I miss here the writing. I have to put it in the sheet later. Because we start with writing now. And I suddenly realized hello. I suddenly realized that there are quite some letters to teach before in coming 3 classes. I think there will be some emphasis on that. So we can, I think I'll look up some nice Vedanta words which we can practice and then do a lot of alphabet. Because it's nice if in the mid of December the whole of the alphabet is being how you say this, exercised. Yes. So for today, we start writing now. First, since I want to write Brahman with you, I introduce the little sign which is used when a R comes behind a or after a consonant. So br, we have br here. So first we make the B. You can make the B for yourself, the ba, ba. Remember? And the R after a consonant is just a little diagonal like this. So here it says bra. So then I thought, oh, why not do also pra? Since we discussed this prefix, pra, in prajnanam, awareness. So you remember the P? Here we go. This is the P and pra, same thing, a diagonal here. Yes, yes, pra. Now, our masterpiece, Brahman. It's not the easiest one, but I really want to do it, especially in this part where the H is followed by an M, by a ma. So let's repeat bra, B, the diagonal. Here it says bra. Now the H, we did that a lot, the H. Just a full ha, ha. But now we have to yoke, like because it's some yoga, 2 consonants. The M to the ha, the ma to the ha. So ma is actually this, remember? But what happens here, this part falls away. So you pick up the ha here and you start writing the ma further like this. Here it says Brahma already. You just write the N. Here it says Brahman. Brahman. Beautiful, but a bit complex here, no? But now you know how these some yogas work. They make kind of funny, strange constructions. Let's practice some other, some yoga. I think we did this before, just repetition. Satya. So we have the S. And here the T, the Ta, and the Ya come together. We have to yoke it in a yoga, in a some yoga. So in this sign, this will fall away. So what happens here, we make the T and immediately the Ya follows. We did this before. Satya. Another some yoga just to practice. Anta. Oh, this is Dutch. Let me see. And Anta means end, but also also limit. It's also a word for inner. Inner. Bhagya is outer. Anta is inner. Like an anta karana, inner instrument. Anta karana, inner instrument. Well, this is enough. So first the ah. Now then, n, but not with a vertical, not with a stick, because we immediately make the ta here. And we make it non-dual. Anta, anta. There was a bit new, bit repetition. Now we have two new letters. These are aspired, what we call aspired letters, because it's ba with more air. Ba, 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 ba.
It's Simon, it's aspirated in English. not
Aspirated.
aspired.
Oh, did I say aspired? Oh,
Yes.
oh, sorry. Aspirate, of course. Aspirated, yes. Aspirated sounds. So you formulate the ba, but then you keep the lips a bit closed and let it give a little explosion. Ba, ba. And it's first, remember this is the ma. The ba looks a bit like a ba. It's like this. So here's a little curl on top. We go down. Go to the right. And actually, this horizontal on top is not fully, this is an open, see? This stays open. That's Ba. Now, the aspirated Ta. The Ta, 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 Ta. Compared to the Ya first, we make a Ya. This is Ya. And Ta looks a bit like it because it goes also with a curl. And we make this same kind of form. It goes like this. And this also stays open. So this is Ta. Oops. Yeah. Nice. So finally, this was a verb plural we learned today. You are, you all are in a plural form. It's ended on atha. Since there are two of these aspirated sounds, bhavata. Nice to pronounce for yourself. Bhavata. 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 The stress, the emphasis should be on the first, because there are three short syllables here. Bhavata. Okay. First, Bha. Again, this little curl. Sorry. Now the wa. Remember? This is Bha. This is Va. Bhava ta. Ta. Bhavata. So we make here the ta. Mind you, this is open up to here. And then this is also open. Bhavata. Well, with this beautiful visual image expressing that we are, that you are, we end this lesson. I'll send you quite an elaborate mail with all the information. And love you all. Let's end with Purna Madav. Om Pur Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Gurubhyo Namah. Thank you so much. See you in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Simon.
Thank